What's up, sketchers? Let's take a look at 4 composition techniques every artist should know. Let's get straight into the tutorial. The first and probably most important trick to know is the rule of thirds rule, where you divide the page into 9 and your reference image into 9 and then work with that. Now, this will not only make your drawing a lot more detailed, as it forces you to think about each individual square rather than the whole entire image, but it also makes things a lot more accurate, as then you can precisely know where you want each object to end, start, or where exactly the object is on the page. And finally, it just makes your image a lot less messy, as then everything is in the right proportion and everything is the right size. And this is probably one of the most important tricks in the book to definitely know when you're drawing. But now that's talked about, let's move on to the next trick, and that is focal point. Now, this is probably very familiar to many of you because all your teachers have been saying it in school or college that focal point is very important, which it is, I found, because this is the central focus of where your viewers will be looking at your drawing. For example, in my image that I took up London, the sort of plant in the middle is the central focus. And again, this is important because this is what people will be drawn to. This is the main part of the drawing. But also it's good to have some side objects around, such as have the pool and the bush. But this is where the audience will be drawn to. This doesn't have to be the center. It can be off the center, it could be left, it could be right. But mainly, and well, at least what I've decided to draw this in the center. And that's pretty much all there is, really. And just feel free to experiment with this as much as you like, whilst we move on to the next trick, which is perspective. And this is another really important thing. We need perspective when it comes to our drawings. This is the pizza slice method, which is where you divide your canvas into 8 slices, and then we can scale things that way. What do I mean by this? Well, let's dive into it. Let's start by explaining what each of these lines mean. The line I'm drawing now is the center of the image, the horizontal line is the horizon, and the 2 vertical lines that I'm drawing right now are the 2 lines which determine the size of an object. What do I mean by this? Well, let's start off by drawing a simple tree. Just a simple tree that goes from the bottom vertical line to the top vertical line, like so. How would this image appear if it was, say, more towards the horizon, further away? Well, we just have to do the same thing, from the bottom to the top, and yes, it would look smaller because it's further away. So if we was to do a tree that's bigger, it would have to appear bigger than the object that's the same distance away. So it wouldn't be bigger than the original tree, which means that this tree that I've drawn further away would look this tall if it was right next to the original tree. So a further way the object is, the smaller the object must appear. And finally, if you ever have trouble drawing paths, then you can always draw another set of diagonal lines and draw your path that way. And the final tip I can give today is the use of organic shapes. Now, organic shapes are when you draw shapes that give a rough idea of the area and shape of the object that you want, like this object that I'm drawing. And then all you do after that is you can then realistically and accurately make your shape within these organic shapes. Using organic shapes not only gives your drawing a degree of accuracy, but it also gives it a sense of scale as well. Like, you know exactly what size you want, and it's just a better way to plan out what size you want your object. And then you can just get rid of the lines afterwards. And also, it's okay to make mistakes, and that's exactly why we have organic shapes, just to aid you along your way. And once you're happy, you have your object. And that's all there is to it. It's quite a simple method, and probably a very effective method to use when you want to make things a lot more accurate. And that is it. Hopefully the tutorial wasn't too stressful for you, but if you did enjoy it, please be sure to stick around. And also check out my TikTok account, which is also newly created this year. Although I do know that they've banned it in the US, but anywhere elsewhere, definitely be sure to check it out. But that's pretty much it for this week. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you later!